Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Vancouver Rain Draft Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 23. So in last episode, we basically had the draft, and we kind of made a really bad pick in a sense by comparison to what we could have had, but it was still not a terrible pick by any means. So we drafted Bobby Hyde first overall, and this guy is 65 overall at 18, but only an 85 potential. So I'm really hoping that this guy has some really killer seasons so we could up that potential more. But at least he'll be a solid pitcher for us, probably like in a number 3, number 4, number 5 spot, somewhere around that. So I can still see this guy being a pretty solid pitcher at some stage, but obviously that is going to take a little bit of time, but very excited still to see what he's like once he gets to the MLB. We also got a couple other good prospects with high overalls but low potentials, so like Todd Goss, for example. He's not terrible because he's a 69 overall at 18. There's also guys like Darren Pulls, who's a 69 at 18 with 75 potential. And then you also have like Kenny Ollinger, 63 overall at 18. So you can see that some of these picks are not too bad. Obviously, we also have Seguera, who is decent, and Murillo, who's decent in terms of potential. But they are like pretty old in a sense by comparison to other rookies. So I don't think guys like Seguera are going to make it necessarily, because of 47 at 22, he might not make it till he's like 30 years old at this point. But if he gets rapid development, who knows, maybe he can end up making it. But we didn't have the best draft because we could have taken another pitcher instead, but we didn't have this guy scouted out at all. At least I'm pretty certain. And he was also injured, so we didn't take this guy, and unfortunately, he was the best pick, and that's Archie Hagan. He goes to the Diamondbacks. He's a 92 potential, 72 overall at 18, so that would have been really nice to have, but unfortunately we didn't have him scouted out enough to know that he was going to be better in that sense. But still an okay draft, I'd say, by all standards, but obviously it was one of the weaker ones, so hopefully next year's draft is a little bit better so we could still build up that prospect pool even more so, because it's right now it's building up the right way. We just need to keep on adding players. Like a lot of these guys that we drafted are probably going to end up becoming like bench players or high AAA players for us in the future. So it should be exciting once those guys get into the lineup as well. But anyways, before we get into the rest of the season simulation, which should be interesting to see what guys are up to this year, we do have a couple comments from Daniel Eichelberger, sorry. I'm more used to saying Eichen instead of Eichelberger. His first one says, also that third baseman with C potential and high overall you scouted, Leonard Shelton, could turn into a Cardenas, win Rookie of the Year, and get his potential raised. Yeah, there was a guy named Leonard Shelton I was looking at who had like a 70 plus overall, but he only had like a 70 plus potential. He would have been nice to draft, but unfortunately he ended up getting taken before our pick, so we weren't able to get to him. The next one says, yeah, you missed out on Archie. That's why you need to scout them, LOL, to know for sure. Come on, man. And it's like, well, the thing is, I tried to find who the number 1 pick was, the best player in the draft was, and we couldn't find it. So maybe we need to have a scout with some better discovery in a sense. Like I know you guys have been recommending me getting ones with better discovery in a sense, or not discovery, efficiency, so that way we could scout more players and faster, because maybe we'd have scouted him out if we had more efficient scouts. So who knows, maybe we make a scouting change next season if you guys think it's necessary, because right now this is our scouting staff. You can see efficiency wise they're all in the 70s except for Garcia, who's been here since the beginning. Garcia is definitely one of the best scouts we have, but we might need to look for some more efficiency in terms of these guys, because I want to make a joke about Brooklyn Nine-Nine about what's his name, Dozerman. Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency.
My motto is simple: efficiency, efficiency, efficiency.
Could probably just say it once.
Are you making fun of my stutter?
Oh,
Tricked you. I don't have a stutter.
You guys might notice scene if you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but anyways, we might change up our scouting staff next season. We'll see. So there is that, and yeah, let's get into simulating the rest of the season and see what the off-season is like as well. We are going to already give some contract extensions to our younger guys. How many years left does Gary have before he's a free agent? Quite some time. I forgot, since he was an older guy. Let's just give him the 2 years. Get some of these guys out of the way because they are important pieces to the future. Dennis Lake as well. That's good. Anybody else that I drafted that I want to already give a contract extension to? Or are we going to wait till the off season? I think we're going to wait till the offseason on the rest of these guys. Perfect. So there is that. Let's go to September call-ups, I guess, and see what happens here. Ollie Gelman has been injured with a bruised shin. We also should be getting Sixto back, speaking of shins, because he was out for quite some time, but he should be back within the next few days. Yep, there he is. Perfect. So he should hopefully help us in terms of offense a little bit, because we have been struggling as of late, but we are still having one of our best seasons yet. That's not a guy I drafted. Glad that it isn't, because a shoulder tear sounds absolutely terrible. Like, if that's a pitcher, he probably was like throwing the ball or something like that and just pulled his like arm right out of its socket. Oof. Let's auto fix rotation on that. Ricky Vinasco. I don't remember if that's a prospect I drafted. I don't think so. Antoine Trevino definitely is, but at least it's only a bruised foot for a few days. Must have got hit with a ball. Actually, let me just go stop the sim for a second. How long till the end of the season for double and triple again? Because we want to definitely keep eyes on our prospect system. Oh yeah, they both end almost in like a month. When does September call-ups happen? 10 days. Okay, so we could still go to the end of this month without risking AAA and AA stats. So that's good. Okay. So we are now 46 in 88. September call-ups are in 1 day, so let's just get to that 1 day. And let's make those September call-ups. So we already have 26 players. We only need 2 people to call up. Let's just call up the worst players on our 40-man roster, I think, because I don't think there's any prospects on our 40-man that I want to add in. Let's see, what do we got here? Ruben Estrada. Yeah, we don't have any prospects down here that are on the 40-man. I could add people to the 40-man, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So let's just call up these guys for the rest of the season. So Ruben Estrada, you're coming up, and Burl Dixon, you're coming up as well. There we go. Now we're at 28 of 28. Let's flip over to AA and get the AA season done. They only have a couple more series left in their season, 3 series. So we'll see how they finish off. They're only 14 and 40, so not a great season for AA in this season. The AAA team must be having an okay season, though, I think, because there should be a good amount of prospects in AAA. AA, not so much. And okay, let's see. There's their season, 16 and 53. They only won 2 games in their last 3 series. Oof, that is just rough. Let's take a look at some AA stats since their season is done now. So Ray McMahon, not the best batting average, but 5 home runs and 45 RBIs. He's up to a 61 overall now. Had a solid OPS and negative WAR, so could be better, but at least he's developing, so I'm okay with that. Who else did we draft? Delmon Rangel, 1 and 16 record. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that team is tragic down there. A 4.66 ERA and a 1.51 WHIP. How was his WAR? 2.3, not bad. Good season for Delmon, apparently. Josh Groves, 7 home runs, 34 RBIs, a 2.53 average, up to a 58 overall. 6.84 OPS is pretty good too, and a plus WAR. So good stuff from Josh Groves. Sparbori was pretty good too. He had 10 of our team's wins. That's crazy. Considering our team only won like 15-something games, he won most of them. Yeah, like that ERA and that WHIP is not bad, and a positive WAR as well. So Sparbori was actually a bright spot in the AA team. Anybody else that I drafted? Kurt Kellenberger was batting at 225. Not that that matters because this guy's a deep potential player anyways. What else we got here? Pablo Silva. This is a good potential prospect. He was 4 and 19. Didn't have a good season by any standard with that WHIP and that ERA, but he will be something decent hopefully in the future if he continues to get development. Darren Ponce was okay. 4 and 5 as a relief pitcher. 53 overall now. Anybody else that I drafted? William Halpern, the catcher, only batted a 183, but I think he was coming off the bench, so that's not great. So we actually did have a decent amount of prospects down there, but most of them didn't do too well. So there's AA. Let's get AAA now done because they end in a week. We'll see how our best players in AAA are doing, like Trevino. I think that's the one we're most excited about. So let's take a look at AAA. So Jeff Pipp batted at 265 this year. He was absolutely great. And yeah, he's up to a 78 overall at 20. So he should be pretty much MLB bound next year. I don't know if for sure. Based on you guys' feedback, I think he almost is MLB ready. So let me know. Do you guys think he should be in the MLB next year? There's also Antoine Trevino, 262 average. So yeah, these two did really well. He's up to a 76, so we could leave him in there maybe for one more year, but you can see the contact hitting and the power hitting and everything is getting much better. So yeah, very excited for Trevino. Suck that he's only a B potential guy, but still, he's going to be really good when he gets into the lineup. Ken Robert was pretty good, 75 at 20. I don't think he's ready yet, but he's getting close. I don't know how much years he has left of not being added to our 40-man, so we'll see. Luis Guzman was also pretty good. He's up to a 68 at 19. Brian Morris was injured pretty much all year, but he's a 66 at 18. Pinheiro batted at 271. He's 66 at 21, so he's not developing that great, but at least he has the high potential that he should all of a sudden get a lot of rapid development, my guess. But yeah, he's an exciting player as well in the system. Gary Steiner as well. A lot of A potential guys down there in AAA. Steiner was batting a 304 through 355 at-bats. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, Gary Steiner had a great year. Fletcher Hoffman, not developing too well. 65 at 22 is not terrible, though. But, yeah, he was our pick in, like, the first draft that we had. So, William Montero, pretty good, up to a 64 overall. He also has a potential. Will he reach it? Hopefully. And I think that's probably it, if I'm not mistaken, unless there's some low-end guys that they moved to triple as well, which there is not. So there you go. There's AAA. They finished 49 and 101. Let's get our MLB season done now. I like how each season ends within a week of each other because it kind of helps out a lot with simming through this. And we end the season with a 12-0 loss. So we finished 48 and 114 on the year. There's a look at the playoff bracket in case you guys wanted to look. Let's take a look at our player stats for the playoffs. So actually, let's just go through each individual like pitching rotation and stuff wise. This makes it a little bit easier. So Garth Howe, phenomenal season it looks like. He was 9 and 20, 3.96 ERA and a 1.19 WHIP. He's up to an 86 overall at 22. I think this guy needs a long-term contract whenever he gets a chance. Like, he has only one more year of ARB, and we'll probably give him a good deal on that stage, I think, because he's going to be an absolute animal if he's playing that good with a team that we have this bad right now. Like, that FIP is a little high, but it's drastically improved from last year. Yeah, drastically improved from last year. So I think he's definitely going to be really good once this team actually starts to turn into a contending team. He's definitely the ace of the future of this team. Gary McAllister, kind of a rough rookie season for him, but at least he's developing, so unless the FIP is good, but the ERA and the WHIP, not so much. The FIP is better than I expected, but it's still not like below a 4. You want to have a below 4 FIP to be an actual good pitcher, I think, is what I heard. The rest of these guys we didn't draft. Yeah, none of these guys I drafted, but I still should actually go through their stats, I guess, a little bit, just so you guys could see who was doing what. We'll just scroll through them. I won't even read anything else, but there is Dennis Lake, our closer. He was pretty good. Yeah, he's up to an 81 and 21. ERA was good, WHIP was good, but then he's a closer. And the FIP was phenomenal, so yeah, he was good. He was good. So there's our pitchers. Let's go to our... Let's actually just go to our statistics on team rankings. I actually should take a look at that more often because I have not done that yet. This might be a little bit of a long episode just because we still have the offseason to get through, but I do like taking a look at these player stats in depth if possible. So, most runs on our team was Bill O'Donnell, surprisingly. So Bill O'Donnell beating out Steve Schneider and Ozzy Cardenas, who's up to a 78 now. That's awesome. Most hits, Ozzy Cardenas with 173 hits. He had 17 home runs this year, 63 RBIs, and a 281 batting average. Wow. Steve Schneider led the team in home runs with 23, so he might end up being one of our power hitting guys of the future. He's not very disciplined at the plate, I don't think, but at least he's getting home runs. Sixto would have probably had the home run lead on the team if he didn't miss the last 50 games. or not the last 50 games, but 50 games. Schneider led in RBIs as well. Stolen base-wise, Ollie Gelman stole 25 bases. Schneider stole 21. So the two of those guys stealing a lot. Best batting average by far was Cardenas and Sixto. Everybody else was below the Mendoza line, I think it is, because I think the Mendoza line is 250, right? Or is it 200? That's the Mendoza line. I know there's some sort of name for it. On base percentage, Sixto, and in Cardenas, not a surprise. Slugging, same thing. Best OPS was Sixto and in Cardenas. Yep. Most doubles, Schneider. Most triples, Ollie Gelman. So you got some speed on the base paths, it seems like. So there is some advanced stats. WAR-wise, our best player was Sixto, Cardenas, and yeah, everybody else was kind of a little bit lower. Ollie Gelman was pretty good apparently, though. Or pretty solid. Let's go to league leaders and see where our guys in our lineup finished. Then we'll take a look at the awards. And then we'll finally get to the offseason. Bill O'Donnell was up there in at-bats, not that that matters too much. Ollie Gelman was up there in triples. With 9 triples, he was tied for 5th in triples. That's pretty good. It's good to have that speed on the base paths. We need that eventually for the future. And stolen base-wise, Ollie was number 7 with 25. So that's also good to see. This guy, is this a generated player? Yeah, it is. Holy crap. This guy's a stealing machine. 43 steals. But he does have, how many speed? 79 speed, but a 93 stealing rating. Jeez. Hopefully we can find players like that eventually for the future too, because that would be really helpful in terms of a playoff scenario. Let's see. ERA-wise, nobody up there. Garth Howe was up there in shutouts. He had 3 shutouts this year. He was only behind McClanahan and Urquidy. So that's really good to see. When he has that much shutouts in his second season, that's a very good sign. So that should be almost all of that. Yep, that is it for player stats in our league, because I don't care about the other league. Let's take a look at the award winners, see if anybody was up there for awards for us. Let's go through the AL first, and then we'll go to the NL. Let's see, any guys that were almost award winners. Oh, Ben Gelman won the Golden Glove for second base. Not that we drafted this guy, but that's cool. Always nice to have some awards in the lineup. Anything else in terms of awards? Doesn't seem like it. So it's an awardless season for our team, but that is okay. Let's just go through the NL as well a little bit quick, just so you guys can see this. Because some people like to see all this information throughout the entire league. I don't mind it either. Once we get to a stage where we're actually competitive, it's going to be kind of more interesting. But just to see if we get any MVPs and stuff like that in the future. Hoping that we do at some point, but obviously that's probably a ways away. So there we go in terms of awards. Let's get through these playoffs and see who ends up winning the World Series. Yeah, who's going to win the World Series this year? It is going to be the Houston Astros beating the LA Dodgers in 2028. So Houston wins again. Did they cheat this time? Who knows? They win in 6 games. What does their roster look like out of curiosity purposes? They are in our division, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, they're really good. That's all I could say. When you have a bunch of like high 80 overall players and a 96 too, yeah, you're a good team. So there is that. Let's get to the offseason and see who retires this season. So retirement-wise, we do lose 2 players. Vinasco, who was nothing I drafted in. Same with Daniels, who broke his arm apparently right at the end. So he retires, and that's that. Freddie Freeman has made it into the Hall of Fame in 2028. And now we got some contract stuff to work with. Exclusive free agent negotiations. Glennon Hill. I guess I should just technically bring some of these guys back. Especially Castillo. I don't know about if I need Glennon Hall or Hill back. Let's see. Left fielder wise, Gary Steiner's on the uprise. So, but we don't really have a lot of MLB related guys. So maybe I'll bring him back for 1 year. He wants a decent amount of money, but we'll just give him a 1-year deal. And then Luis Castillo, we could always keep on to relievers for now because we have a lot of relievers, but we don't have a lot of starting pitchers. But it's good to have just hold on to him in case he wants a decent amount of money apparently. But we'll just give it to him just for now, just to make sure we get those guys signed up. Let's get to our staff. We need a manager and a hitting coach. So we could sign Dave Roberts. That would be a great one to have as a manager. But he's going to be relatively expensive. I don't know if he would want to come to this team because we're not in a winning status, but we might as well try and bring in the best manager there is. If not, we have other guys. Esparza is pretty good, and he's only 37. We'll see if I end up bringing him in. Hitting coach-wise, what do we got? Anybody with no negative? There is this guy. He's 62, though, so he might retire soon. Owen Montague, we'll bring you in. You sound straight out of a Shakespeare play. There you go. Let's advance a few days, I guess. See if those guys accept. Owen Montague is accepted. Dave Roberts probably ain't going to accept, right? Yeah, he didn't accept. I thought so. Because we're not in that status where we should be trying to go after the best manager necessarily. There is Vance Wilson. We'll try Vance Wilson. Just because of Asher Vance in my Chicago NHL series. I almost said MLB for some reason. We'll see if Vance Wilson accepts. Let's go a few more days here. There you go. Nice. Let's stop the simulation here. Luis Castillo hasn't accepted yet, but he more than likely will soon. Let's sim to free agency 1 and get through all this random stuff. So, that kind of sucks. We have to add Montero already to our 40-man roster because he was a pick in year 2, I'd like to say. So we're going to have to add him to our 40-man or else he might end up getting claimed. So, in the Rule 5 draft. So, Montero might get a chance in the MLB soon. We'll add him to our 40-man here. Boom. Anybody else that needs to be added? Not really. The rest of these guys are all just guys that are high potentials, but really low overalls for their age, so it doesn't really matter too much at that stage. We already have 38 people on our 40-man roster, too, which is kind of crazy. So, let's get through all these contract stuff. We'll start off with, the arbitration stuff. We'll just try and sign all these guys back up because I think we need probably most of them. We should double check to make sure. Let's go starting pitcher wise. There's I don't know about bringing this Chen guy back. He's only 25 though, so maybe we just keep him around. Yeah, we actually need all the starting pitchers we could get, so we definitely need to sign all these guys back up because we do not have a lot of starting pitchers in the moment. We have a lot of relievers, but I was asking, his interest doesn't go up at all depending on the price. So I'll just give you 1 year at $2 million there, Avery, to continue pitching for us in the MLB level. We need to make sure we keep these guys for now because or else we're going to have relievers as starters, and that's not a good thing, especially if they have low stamina and whatnot. Yeah, we'll just get all of them back. Why not? Why not? Then we also have relief pitchers. We should probably hold on to most of these guys as well. Some of these guys are dropping off a lot. We actually do have a lot of relievers, I think. Let me take a look. How much relievers do we got? And we've been drafting a lot of relievers. Yeah, we don't actually need any of these guys, I think, in terms of relievers. Maybe I'll bring back Bacon because he's 64. But these other 4, I don't think we need to bring back. Just because we have a lot of guys that we've drafted in terms of relievers, it's kind of pointless. Unless these guys are all in the MLB level this year, which I think some of them might have been actually. Yeah, all these guys have been in the MLB this year. I'm just not going to sign any of the rest of these guys. I think only Bacon. Closing pitcher-wise, we might as well keep on to one of these guys because we do have 2 closers, but most of them are getting close to the MLB, so we definitely need to hold on to our closers till we draft more. Catcher-wise, I think we definitely need to hold on to our catchers because at the moment, we actually do have a lot of catchers. I could probably let go of Hernandez and then keep Cuero. Actually, maybe Hernandez and Cuero would be good to keep on too. Estrada we could let go of. Yeah, Estrada we could let go of though. So yeah, we're going to let go of Estrada. We'll hold on to Hernandez for 1 year. Might as well. Thomas Dillard, do we need a first baseman still? Yeah, I'm sorry if this offseason takes a long time because we got a lot of contract work to do. So Dillard's number 3 right now. He's kind of pointless, to be honest. We actually have drafted a lot of first basemen, so yeah, Dillard's gone. Dillard is gone for sure. Oh, you could click actually X and you could go on roster right away. Ah, that's easier. Didn't even realize that. Ben Gelman, do we need second baseman? He's currently the number 3 behind Fletcher Hoffman. Not really. He was in the MLB this season, though, but... Actually, maybe I'll keep him because I don't know if I'm going to put Trevino in the MLB this year. So, let's just do it. No third baseman. Ostrander. He's pretty down on the shortstop list, and there's a lot more guys coming up. Or there's actually, no, some of those are guys that could play shortstop. That's actually a cool screen. I didn't realize about this screen. He's only 27. Let's just hold on to Ostrander for now. Might as well hold on to as much players as we can, and then if we need to, we'll let some of them go. But left fielding wise, who is it again? Cabrera and Dalton. Steiner would be in triple. Glennon Hall would probably be, or Hill would be in triple / DMLB. We have a lot of outfielders though, so I don't really know if I need these guys. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to bring those 2 guys back. Rosado, we'll bring him back, I think. Maybe not, actually. Wait, where is Rosado on this list? Oh, he's near the bottom. Yeah, I don't think I need Rosado if Josh Groves and stuff like that, so let's... Actually, we'll keep on to him. Why not? Why not? I just want to make sure I have the right amount of players, because or else we're going to have to sign some at the start of the season. And I think we need to keep Burl Dixon. Yeah, we don't have a lot of right fielders, so we'll hold on to Burl Dixon as well. So there you go. In terms of all those offers, tender contract-wise, this is the more important ones. Let's get Pip on a 1-year deal. Nice. Trevino. There is so much contract stuff in this game that, like I always mention every offseason, this part gets a little bit tedious, but, I mean, it is quite fun to shape up your roster, at least for all 3 leagues, or not all 3 leagues. Yeah, I guess all 3 leagues, not all 4 leagues, I should say, but it's important to do all this contract work as much as it takes a lot of time. But yeah, I'm really excited for the future of this team. There is a lot of guys that I think that are going to be getting into the MLB within the next 2 to 3 seasons, and then we're going to soon have a roster completely of guys that we've drafted, and that's going to be where we actually start to get a little bit more interesting because guys are going to still be developing, that type of thing. So we definitely need to sign everybody that we drafted. I'm going to just sign everybody in the screen pretty much, I think. Yeah, we'll probably just sign them all just to play it safe. But, yeah, we're getting quite the prospect pool, I'd say. Obviously, we need to be better in terms of if we have the first overall pick, making a good choice again. But at the same time, I am pretty excited for what is to come with this team. And, yeah, hopefully we get one of those drafts where there's, like, a really, really good overall player, like a 99 potential guy. Because if we are able to get, like, a potential player like that, that could turn the tides of this team being competitive or not, depending on what type of player he is. Because if we have more starting pitchers, that'd always be good too. But obviously, it would be nice to get like a 99 potential like player that could hit the ball and stuff too. Just because at the moment, I think our best is Sixto, and Sixto obviously is really good, but we don't really have... we do have some good players, but we obviously... I think most of them are in the B potential range in terms of hitting-wise. So I really just hope that we could get like a really good A potential guy at some point. Not sure what position, but we're going to just pretty much sign everybody here. I don't really care. And if we need to cut some of these players that are on 1-year deals, so be it. As long as we have everybody that we drafted, that's probably the most important thing to do. So, how much more contracts we got to dish out? Still a lot. I'm trying to find ways to talk through this without it being a little bit boring, because I know contracts and stuff like that in this part, like even when I play offline, I get kind of like bored during this part of the season. Like if it comes to another off season, I'm like, maybe I'll just get off for today, you know, that type of thing, because It just takes a while to actually get all these guys signed up, but once you have them signed up, the rest of the offseason is pretty easy. So eventually we'll start letting go of some of these guys that we didn't draft that were here in the beginning, because we will have the prospects to replace them. So the good thing is our team at least still doesn't cost a lot of money, but soon enough, like when Garth Howe was in his last ARB year, I'd say we need to pay a good chunk of money to him, because his his second season was pretty good. I think he's definitely on the base path, or not base path, but he's on the path to being a very, very good pitcher, I think. Because I think he had 99 potential when we drafted him, right? So I think he might develop into being that ace. So I think we need to make sure that we get him to that point where he's going to be really good, and make sure we have him signed for that long as well. But I know players do drop off rapidly quick once they get to like 29 and stuff like that. So we need to make sure that we're actually giving him a pretty good contract basis. So there's that. We have a lot of budget still, which is funny, but obviously we can't really use that. I did offer contracts to all those guys. I could offer arbitration, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Yeah, let's advance a few days, see if we get a few guys signed up. Let's skip through that. See what we got. Actually, let's just go sim to free agency 2. Let's stop the sim and see if we need to still do anything. Cuero should accept, which is good. And then the rest of these guys, none of them have accepted yet. Or there's only 2 of them, I think. Yeah, there's only 2 of them that's holding out still, and that's Weems and Burl Dixon. They should accept. And our 40-man is pretty much set. We have 39 people on it, so we might have to start removing some of the older guys eventually to add younger guys at some point. But let's go to free agency 2 and see. These guys are still not accepted yet, but that's okay. They should accept soon. Let's get to the Rule 5 draft, because we are already like 30 minutes into this episode. And I don't want this episode to be super long, which it already probably is, but whatever. Skip through all that. No, thank you. Yeah, we're almost already at the Rule 5 draft, so we're almost close to the end of this, and then we'll be able to take a look at what our roster and everything looks like too. So, okay, Rule 5 draft. This would be our last player on our 40. Actually, now we're down to 29 people on our 40-man roster. So, yeah, we got let go of a decent amount of players, I guess. Let's go to the draft and see what we got. We got the first pick in it, so let's see what there is. We could always use more starting pitchers, but a lot of them are in their 30s. By the time we're competitive, these guys are dropping, so it's pointless to take one. This guy, though, a relief pitcher that's 23 and 74 overall, B potential. I think that's what I would go for, because we'd get ourselves a future relief pitcher that actually has decent potential, and he's a decent overall, too. Yeah, I think I might go for Jack Birch, because he's young too. This is like, I think, the first draft where we're actually going to be able to see players that were drafted getting added to this as well. Yeah, I think we got to go for that guy, because relievers, we have a decent amount of relievers already, but this guy being young and having potential and being a solid overall, like, he has played MLB time already as well. He hasn't been good in the MLB, but it doesn't really matter. As long as he develops, he might end up becoming one some days. So, yeah, Jack Birch, yeah, we're going to draft you with our pick. That is a solid pick there, I think. And we are going to skip our selection for the second one, because I normally don't take more than one player in this. It's kind of pointless. Well, it's not really pointless. It's just more I don't like to take multiple players in it. And sim to arbitration hearings, even though we don't have any arbitration hearings, I'm pretty certain. Skip through all these notifications. Hopefully my Elgato hasn't froze yet, because if it has, I will be mad. Renewable contracts, spring training, and would you like to stop simulating? No. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at first, so contract extension wise, we're gonna have some big contracts maybe to dish out. Well, at least to Sixto. He does still have a couple more years of ARB, but is it time yet? Probably not. But Giancarlo Sixto is going to be a very expensive player soon, Because right now he's already thinking he's worth $3 million a season, which makes sense. You go to like 14 years, for example, he's wanting like 35 plus million a season. So it's probably not time yet to give him a big contract, but I think in the next few years it definitely is, because once those RBRs run out, he could head the free agency, and we wouldn't want that. So just thought I'd show you guys that. So there is that. Let's take a look at our roster at the moment. Actually, let's go to the depth chart to make it a little bit easier. So Howe and McAllister are going to be pitching in the MLB. We got O'Donnell over there. We got Gelman. We got Sixto. Steve Schneider up to a 75. Yeah, things are looking decent. Obviously, it's still not in the best state, but once these guys start developing more, it's going to be even better. Like if we go all the way to 2033, for example, so in the next 5 years, most of those players that we're looking at right now will be in the 80s. Like even Pip's supposed to be up in the high 80s in a few years, and Trevino as well. So yeah, the future is pretty bright. Obviously not in terms of pitching, like it's saying that Bobby Hyde's going to be an 81 in 5 years, which is good, but obviously it's not the best because he's only an 85 potential. But hopefully we continue on this trajectory that it's showing. Like Sixto apparently should be a 98 within the next 3 seasons, hypothetically. And if that's the case, we need to have that guy locked up. So there's that. And final thing, let's take a look at the top prospects in the MLB. See if we have any guys in the top 50. Let's see. Wow, nobody in the top 15. We're running dry on prospects, apparently. Pablo Silva is up there at number 25. He's our highest rated prospect in terms of that because he's got A potential. So it's interesting. We also have Jeff Pipp making it back up there at 36. He fell off a lot, but I don't know if I should add him to the MLB yet. He's got really good power hitting against righties, but is he ready for the MLB? That's one question I have for next episode for you guys. Gary Steiner at 41. I'm surprised he's all the way down there, but he's already 22, so I guess it makes sense. And that's it. We only have 3 prospects on the top 50 this year. The best rated prospect is Pena in Texas. And there's Avalos. Mackenzie a little. Tom Koo's been on there for a while. Yeah, this guy's going to be a really good player for the Marlins. Just in case you guys wanted to take a look at that type of thing. And I think that's it. I think that is it. Who else has a contract extension up for renewal? That Birch guy we just took. Nobody else super important. So Sixto's the big one. Okay. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Vancouver Rain Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will start up the season simulation. We'll also scout out the upcoming draft. And yeah, we'll see how good the draft is. And hopefully it's a good draft for our team because obviously we need to add more prospects in. But I think we are definitely trending in the right direction. It's just about how long are we out from actually making the playoffs, like 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. We'll have to see. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. And I'll see you guys next time.